Okay, guys, we are live. It's Monday night. We have a lovely little special show for you tonight. Oh, Liverpool fans are happy. I woke up this morning, a big smile on my face. League Cup winners, Carabao Cup winners, whatever you want to call it. Yesterday at Wembley against Chelsea, the Oligarchs. What a win. It was great to win for other reasons as well. It really was a great win yesterday. Number 9 League Cup came home. I wasn't at the game, but this man right beside me, special guest Dave Kerrush. Is it Kerrush or Kerrush?
Kerrush
was at the game at Wembley. What an experience this man had. He's going to tell you all about it from start to finish. What a game to be at, Dave. Welcome to the show, my friend.
Thanks, Dave. Pleasure. Thanks for having me on. I think this is the second time I've been on your show now.
Yeah.
Brilliant. What can you say about the day?
Did you get any sleep last night? Did you?
Got back about 10 to 1. And then I was going to watch the full game again, but I was a bit tired, so I just watched the pens. And then I watched the full game back today.
Wow.
I took a day off today. I'd booked a day's holiday. So yeah, that was my day. Just a fantastic day. Obviously, the result was, the result just capped it off. It would have been a tough one to sort of lose had we not won, but yeah, we got the win, and that was the most important thing. I remember thinking, I said to my mate, with it was about 10 minutes left of the second half of extra time, and I said, this next 15-20 minutes is going to be, it could be key to our season. I just felt if we hadn't won such a grueling, it was a grueling game. They chased every ball. I thought if we were to lose this in right at the death or the dreaded penalties.
Yeah.
I was concerned about Wednesday. I really was. Wondered what sort of side he'd put out. But obviously the win, the momentum we've got now, and it's amazing. But I really fancy us now Wednesday. I think we've just got that momentum now. We've got one down, and we move on to the next one. I mean, every game now on the way in is a cup final. There's no shadow. I said to somebody today, it's just great times to be a Liverpool fan.
Listen, you've seen the times with your dad, of course, and your family in Liverpool. You've seen bad times at Liverpool. I've seen them. I'm following Liverpool since about mid-'80s. We've seen the bad times. We've seen the good times in the 80s, of course, but we've seen some bad times. This club were in ribbons when we won't even mention their names. We know who they are. The two Cowboys were there in 2010.
Yeah.
I mean, this club was in big trouble. People don't realise how in trouble it was. To be in the position we are here now in 2022, we're in an absolute dreamland cycle at the moment. I like the mug there as well, Davey boy. But you know what I mean? Like, people don't realise it. Maybe even the younger fans, pre-Klopp, the TikTok fans, as I call them, the Instagram fans, don't realise just before, say, Klopp came in, how bad and how in trouble this club was. I mean, to get to Wembley final is a big thing. I know it's a league cup. People say, listen, start the season, it's not the cup you'd be thinking about, really, in the position we're in. Maybe the lower teams would. But I just think momentum-wise to win it. I mean, City have shown us in the last few years, they won it 4 years in a row for a reason. You know what I mean? Yeah. Especially a big squad. You can give players a game that probably never even see a bloody pitch. Never mind Wembley. I mean, Kelleher is an example of that yesterday. And I mean, he was up there for man of the match with Van Dijk. And I mean, you know what I mean?
Terrific.
I mean, Kelleher was just, absolutely unbelievable.
I know. His distribution,
calmness.
Absolutely superb.
No, really it was. It was a fairy tale for him because, I mean, Klopp had already said it about a month ago that he was going to start. People were going, well, there's a bit showing your hand there, a month before. Klopp's
I'm glad he stuck with it.
Do you know what he said? And I don't know when he seen the interview after, because you were down at Wembley, but one of his interviews, and I thought it was very telling, was he was saying this was a cup that was won by the whole team, the whole squad. He meant the young lads like Tyler Morton, Connor Bradley's, Harvey Elliott. I know Harvey Elliott was there and scored a penalty yesterday. But the young lads, Kelleher, players that wouldn't usually, and I think for that reason, I think it was one of his best wins, one of his best. Yeah. Plus, he'd never won it before. We got beaten in the final a few years ago. It was 2016 by City. So it was sweet revenge for Klopp. But I mean, you were there yesterday, and I mean, you won a competition and you went down, so you had a even better than just going to the game. You actually had a little experience on the pitch and everything, Davey. Let's go! Wow.
I mean, well, I was in the ballot for a final ticket. Along, I think there were over 30,000. I think in the ballot. I don't know the exact figure. And I was sat there. I was sat there a couple of weeks ago, and I thought, I'll just have a look if there's any competitions. I find this competition online. I don't think you even had to answer it. Wasn't even a question to answer. Just fill in your details, sent it off. I thought, might get it in the ballot. Why not? I was sat there with the missus. We were watching something on the telly about 2 weeks ago, and I get an email, and I looked at the email. So I thought it was a scam. Won this competition.
Was it just one ticket or two people?
It was for two people. Two people. So I took my mate, which he drove, which was even better. And it was basically a VIP. It was a tour of the stadium. I wasn't expecting to go anywhere near the pitch. We went right down the back staircases, right into the bowels of Wembley.
Seen the video, yeah.
And there's like a service road that runs right round the stadium. Then the coaches arrive, the royal family, if the royal family are in attendance, they arrive. There's actually an eight bedded like hospital down in the basement there. There were paramedics there, ambulances waiting if there was an incident or anything.
Yeah.
Just things that you wouldn't necessarily. Yeah.
It's some stadium. I've never been in it. It's some stadium. It really is.
Well, when you stand on the pitch and you look up, and the guide said that there's only. They don't normally have, when they have concerts, they don't normally have them on the grass.
Yeah.
They press a button and
slides out.
It slides out.
Yeah.
Said the exception was Adele. She was in the centre apparently, sold out, 98,000 people. But he said that Ed Sheeran's going to beat that in a couple of weeks or couple of months. He's going to have 100,000, just him and his guitar. And I tried to sort of picture what that must be like, because you sort of look up and you sort of look through the tears, and it is seriously impressive. Obviously,
is that the first time you're ever in Wembley? Is it?
No. I've been to Wembley. I mean, I've been quite fortunate with Wembley. I've not missed a domestic final.
Wow. You were there in 06 for the West Ham.
Yeah.
Wow.
I've not missed a domestic final since the early 80s. I've been very lucky with that.
You're very lucky. You are one of only, I'd say, a handful of people, Davey boy. That's, you know what I mean? That's unbelievable. Sir Oswald Fortitude, the great Mark Lawrenson said that the 80s Liverpool team used to prioritise the League Cup as a bounce effect was vital as players began to tour latter part of the season. Yeah, that's exactly what we were saying. It can give you a huge boost in February. It's 1st of March tomorrow.
Yeah.
You've got a trophy in the cabinet already. Takes a bit of pressure off, I think, as well. Makes you maybe, psychologically, mentally going forward, because we're still in all competitions. I mean, it's just unbelievable. It could really, this could be like legendary status season. I don't want to put too much pressure on, but just to be in all those competitions, as you say, it's Wednesday night, we've got Norwich in the FA Cup. You win that, you're in the quarters. Who knows? But back to the game. I mean, the main thing for me in the game, what was the atmosphere? The atmosphere looked electric there, I have to say. Just the atmosphere, and I know near the end, but what was the atmosphere like?
The atmosphere was brilliant. The only thing I would say, where I was seated, and I can't be too critical, because obviously it was a competition. It was fantastic, the experience. But where I was sat in the corporate, it isn't the same as being, in the end, right behind the goal. It was by the corner flag in Club Wembley, but honestly, there was quite a lot of seats empty. There was people behind talking business. A lot of them, it's not.
Oh, prawn sandwiches, like Ray Keane used to say. That's what you're talking about.
It does kind of. You think when there's good Reds there that can't get tickets, and the corporate, it's an argument you're never going to win. Obviously, they'll say, "Well, we put all the sponsorship money in."
Someone was sick, or something. Someone was sick and didn't turn up. Something like that could have happened.
But our end was brilliant. Absolutely fantastic. As always, by the way.
As always, the Liverpool fans are unbelievable. I seen at the end of it, singing Dua Lipa, "One kiss is all it takes." I mean, you sent me the video that was just wow.
You've got grown men. You've got some older than me just bouncing up and down on the spotlight with the scarves just going around like that, singing. One kiss.
One kiss is all it takes. Yeah. I said it was one kick is all it takes. One kick is all it takes. That's what Kepka was singing, and it's still in the air. His ball is still in the air. Show us there, Dave, where Kepka's ball.
Can you see it?
It's right behind Dave in Liverpool. It made its way all the way to Liverpool. It back. No, leave it up there. But we go back to the game. Obviously, at the start of the game, we seen the lineup. Thiago was ready to roll. I think Thiago would have been huge in that midfield for us. And he got injured in the warm-up. I think it's a tight hamstring is the latest. Hopefully it's not too bad. And Naby Keita came in, who didn't do it, but hadn't got a bad game. But we go through the first half. I mean, listen, Chelsea are a decent side. Let's be real. I don't like them. We all don't like them, but they are a decent side. They're European champions.
They're our side to beat.
Do you know what? They're a real tough cup side. I mean, they're club world champions, European champions. I just think they're missing a striker. I mean, they 2 or 3 really good. If they had a decent striker there, like what we have, if they'd one of our strikers, basically, I think we could have been in trouble yesterday, Dave. We had a lot of possession. We had a few chances. I mean, Mane, how did Mane miss that one? Did you see that one? Yeah. Remember the one, Mane?
I mean, he done well. I mean, to save the first one and then to get back up and get a strong hand to it and put it over the bar was just
So were you worried a bit? I mean, like even in the 90 minutes, I mean, I could hardly watch it. I was like this. I know the stadium is different, but
no, I was worried. I was worried. I mean, I'll be honest. The first half at half time, I didn't think I'd actually put on my Twitter. I think we need to start playing. I didn't feel being there in that first half that we really. But when I watched it back again today.
Yeah,
it was a lot better than I think.
Yeah,
you normally get a good feel for it, but I didn't. I knew we had the possession, but they had the better chances. Pulisic could have scored after about 6 minutes.
Yeah.
And then right near the end of the first half, Mount. It looked easier to score.
Do you know what? Sometimes that happens in football matches. Then you're saying maybe it's our night. You know that way.
Yeah,
it's got to be our night.
And then obviously the Mane. That was our best chance, but I just felt they looked dangerous.
They did. They were dangerous. Yeah.
They got behind us a few times and put some really decent, square balls in. I don't know. I was just kind of uneasy with it. We seemed quite happy for them to sort of come, sit back and come at it. And at times it was like we were trying to catch them on the break.
Yeah.
But then the second half, I think they hit the post, didn't he? Start the second half, did they?
Yeah.
And then it was like we definitely lifted our game. We picked our game up and possession-wise, and then obviously we had a good few chances ourselves, but it was end to end. I never ever felt comfortable for 1 minute.
No,
if I'm honest.
I didn't. I suppose both sets of fans didn't feel comfortable because, to be fair, it was a toss of a coin who was going to win that. Really. I mean, we've had 2 draws in the league. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're both close games.
There's not a lot.
I knew.
Not a lot
separate. As I say, maybe a striker is the difference. We've We've big mentality as well. I think the mentality show. I mean, we mightn't have won that game last week. We wouldn't have won the game last year without centre halves. Van Dijk's huge for us. Van Dijk was immense yesterday again. Kelleher was immense. What do you think of Luis Diaz? What a player he is! Wow.
Oh well, I know it's sort of kind of early days in his Liverpool career, but. He's going to be a player. He's got a great engine. He gives everything. He likes to try and beat a man. His movements as well. You can't really appreciate it on the TV. You don't see all of it off the ball and that. But he looks to me like he's got a really good football brain, and he's going to be a player. There's no doubt about that.
Do you know what impresses me? The fact how he just slots in seamlessly into the groove, into the level. Okay, he played for Porto. He's a Colombian international, so he's not exactly a young lad. He's what?
No.
He's 20, just gone 25, I think, in January. He's an FC Porto. He's Champions League level. So he has that little bit about him, of course. But I still think just to come in, you know, into the toughest league in the world, let's be fair, in the Premier League, it just fits in as if he's there, never mind a month there, about 4 or 5 years. You know what I mean? I mean, he's probably only paid 95 minutes total, and he's more trophies than Everton have since 1995. You know what I mean?
Oh, dear.
Unbelievable.
It's like somebody said, the kid who went up when they lifted the trophy, and the kid who got all the trophies.
Who was that kid? Who was that kid? Some random kid?
It was just somebody that they grabbed on the way up.
What? He's becoming a superstar now, that young fella.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. I just looking at him. Originally I looked at it, I thought it was one of the players' kids. You know that way? I think Alisson is beside him. But Alisson, I don't think.
Becker's kid, but Becker's kid isn't old enough, I don't think.
No, I think Becker's 2 girls anyway, is he? I'm not sure.
Oh, has he got it right? Okay.
I think so.
Right.
But listen, then it goes extra time and you're saying, oh, here we go. The dreaded, I mean, if it goes to penalty, it's a horrible way to lose now. I know someone has to win and stuff, and luckily it was us. But what way were you for the penalties? Were you looking at them or were you like this?
No, I was looking at them, and believe it or not, I every time they took it, went to take their pen, I was recording it. I wasn't at ours. I kind of like I had my arms crossed like that. I always do the same. I have my fingers crossed, and I'm like that. And then when we scored, made up, and then I had the camera rolling. I wanted to get that moment. And as it happened, I didn't get the moment in the end because I thought, no, I'm going to leave it now because every time I do it, the moment isn't coming. But you know, when he sent that, I don't know what I think he looked at Keller's penalty, and I think he just absolutely drove it, didn't he? He just hammered it. And I think he thought, I'm going to do the same.
It was way over, as you said. It's in your kitchen. Just
lifted it, didn't he?
In your kitchen, you know what I mean?
Oh. There it is.
There it is. But do you know what the thing about it is as well? I mean, some of the penalties were unbelievable. I think the first 5 anyway from both teams. Salah's was top corner. Fabinho's.
He got a hand to him, didn't he?
Yeah.
I think he got a hand to Kanate's, didn't he?
Oh, I was worried about Kanate's one. You know, he just got a finger to it, and he got a hand to. He got a hand to Werner's. Look, you need a bit of luck in football. You need a bit of luck in life, Dave. We got that little bit of luck yesterday. I think we deserve it.
We did, you know? and in fairness to them, they'll feel hard done to that. You know, they lost it on pens. You know, as far as the actual game went, it was a very, very good 0-0.
It was one of the best.
You get some 0-0s where you're just going through the, you know. It drags it, you know. Think, it was uneventful. There was a lot going on in that game. You know, there was a few goals ruled out for offside. You know, but because you're so far away,
Lukaku's one was wow.
Well, I've seen that again.
I don't even know. I think he's on, Dave. I mean, I don't know. I'd be disappointed if that was a Liverpool player. Would you?
Yes.
You would?
Yes,
have to be fair about it. I would be.
Yeah.
If that was Mane or Salah running through and being called off like that, I wouldn't be happy.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I know Liverpool scored. What was the Van Dijk one? How was that not?
Well, I didn't see anything in real time. That was down our end.
Oh, yeah.
And I wasn't even expecting because, you know, but then obviously it goes up on the screen VAR and you're like, and then it was. He's given it for holding, hasn't he? He's given it for holding.
Wasn't much in that one either. So probably that one eases out the lamp or eases out the Lukaku one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Chelsea can. Stephen Richards, he's a good one there. Fair play to you, Steve. So yesterday, obviously, as I say, it was just huge to win it, Dave. And at the end of it, you see them on the pitch, and they actually lifted it on the side up in the gantry, and then they came down onto the pitch to do their dance.
Well, we were actually told that they were going to get presented with it on the pitch because of the COVID protocol.
Yeah.
And then it changed. The guide who took us on the pitch an hour and a half before kickoff said it's going to be presented on the pitch. And then I think I saw something on Sky today that said it was a last-minute change to go up there. I think I saw that.
Do you know what it was? It was
we
maybe Liverpool had something to do with it, for the fact that the last trophy we won, we no bloody fans, and we wanted to really give it to the fans, that type of way. I mean, all about the first league that we won in 2020, first time in 30 years, and there was no parades, there was no. I'd be Ryanair tickets booked, I'd everything booked for 2 nights, and I obviously didn't get over, and it just didn't happen, Dave. I mean, you're following Liverpool, you're season ticket holder for, I don't know, how long are you involved? Give us a quick story on you, yourself and your dad, and the Hendo interview.
The Hendo interview. Well, the Hendo interview. I mean, in fairness, I've been going to Liverpool matches since the age of about 9. With my dad.
So about 30 years.
Yeah, well, I wish. Yeah, getting near 45 now, mate. Not 4 or 45, but
yeah.
I was fortunate. I saw them sort of kind of late 70s. I saw all the 80s. I saw them lift the last one. And I'll say to anyone, if anyone thought that, we'd wait 30 years to see another, I don't care how staunch Man United fan you were, who obviously could only dream of the things that we saw, the things that we did. They'd have laughed at you if you said you're going to wait 30 years. They'd have absolutely laughed. And that was why, with me mural, it was well documented. Me and my dad used to talk about, my dad was a bit more level-headed than me. He'd say, I don't know, City are so strong. We'd had a couple of false dawns where we became very close. And, to win it, the year my dad passed, I just wanted... I don't know. I just wanted to do something. I wanted to mark that. I mean, that will, as long as I'm in this house, that's going to be there. I look at it. It's weathering absolutely amazing. It looks as good as it did when it was done.
It's an unbelievable. People don't realise it. This is the guy that has the Hendo mural on his back wall of his house with the trophy. This is the brilliant. He's been on Anfield Rap as well about it. And it's just it's one of the best murals, I think. It's lifestyle, it's a lifelike, mural. It really is a top class mural. But so you did
when the sun shines on it, Dave, on the trophy. When the sun shines on it, the trophy sparkles. Honestly.
Oh yeah. Fantastic. No, it is. It's a top class. It's a top class mural. There's no doubt about it. Is it the same guy that did the Trent mural?
It is, yeah.
Same guy did the famous Trent mural, off Anfield Road. But we might get a peek of it before we go. But so you got a surprise. Your dad passed away, who of course was a huge Red. You used to go to good games with your dad, and you got a surprise one day.
Yeah.
Your wife was it?
Yeah. Well, no, it was Liverpool. Liverpool were absolutely amazing the way they sorted out the season tickets, into my son's name, and they were absolutely first class. And it was all from a courtesy call from the club. And I don't know what happened. I just started telling the girl who rang the story, and she said, "Oh, can I ring you back? Can I ring you back?" And she come, and I said, "Oh," I said, "I'm terribly sorry. I didn't mean to upset you." And she went, "Oh, I was telling my manager," and it all came from that. And that was where it come from. They said, "Let's see if we can do something." And apparently they had a thing where they put things in and they vote on, make a good
cause,
one of our sponsors, Nivea, and mine was selected, and I had no idea. I absolutely no idea that it was going to happen. And I mean, I think you saw, on the start of the video, hello, dead miserable. That was just the way I was feeling. And then the next thing, Endo's in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, and I'm like, and I thought it was my brother-in-law winding me up or something. I thought, it was one of them genetic things where I speak and and it wasn't. It was real, and it was just absolutely fantastic, And it kind of went from there. But before all of that, obviously, I've followed Liverpool everywhere. I have been very, very fortunate. What I've seen and the places I've been. It's been absolutely brilliant. But going back to what you said at the start of the conversation about the bad times. I mean, I know a lot of lads that still go home and away, and I remember being in the queue, for away tickets, and there was a bit of a joke going on, like, we must be mad. What are we doing? There were times, I won't mention the manager, but there were times when there was no plan B. Yeah, and it was just, you were going, and it was just really a day out. It was just like, and we'd come home on the train coming home from London, going, great day out, but football ruined it. And the amount of times that we would say that, and there was just nothing. And we were in dire straits. We really were in dire straits. Yeah. And now it's just like Christmas every single
day. Yeah.
You just look forward. I mean, I've just been telling my wife, there about, I'm not going to be available for the next, certainly we've just gone through the next week. Obviously, FA Cup, 5th round on Wednesday night.
West Ham.
We've got West Ham, is it, on Saturday? 5:30 kickoff.
Huge.
And then, we're a leg away from quarterfinals of the Champions League on. Is it next Wednesday?
I think it is. It's the game after
next Wednesday.
West Ham, yeah.
It's definitely next week. Yeah. So there's 3 massive games, and as I said to you before, there's 3 cup finals. We can't afford to drop any points in the league. We can't afford to blink. We've just got to put pressure on pressure on City.
And they play Man United the weekend, by the way.
They do, and I'm not signing in.
United will give them a game. I'm telling you. I mean, Everton gave them a game. Everton gave them a game the other night.
He did. To be honest with you, I didn't even watch. I watched the last half an hour. I went out. I took the dog out. I didn't want to. I can't bring myself to shout for Everton. I'm going to be dead honest. I just can't. I just looked at it and thought, well, you know what? If they get something, great. But to be fair, they had a proper go. How that wasn't a penalty, I've no idea.
No,
it was, I think one of the lads from the Rap put on Twitter saying, well, if that isn't a penalty, I don't understand the rules, because
I don't understand the rules, do you? No. Nobody does. You know what I mean?
It was nailed on. How that wasn't given, I have no idea. But to be fair to Everton, they had a good go. When a lot of teams will just lie down when they play City, they're beaten before that first whistle. And Everton, I know Everton have got a few cup finals coming up themselves. So I know that they couldn't afford to be, they couldn't afford to. They had to put a shift in, and they did. But somebody said to me on Twitter about probably 2 weeks ago now, the league's gone and all that, and I said the league's still there. It hadn't even started bubbling, and I'm not like a fortune teller or anything, but I've seen it before. I remember the time when we nearly won it. I think we were 5 points clear with less games to go. I think the bookies had us something like 1-5 on, I remember.
Yeah.
And obviously we didn't win it. So there was a hell of a there's a lot of points still now to play for.
All you could do, Dave, is win your next game. I mean, that's what Klopp will be saying.
That's all your next game. And if City hold us off, fair play to them.
Exactly.
They're a good side. There's no question about it. They're a good side.
I think, to be fair, I think City are an unbelievable side. When you look at Liverpool and City, I think both teams push each other on to that level, the level we're at now. Do you know what I mean? Because if City aren't there, we don't have to be on our game every bloody week. You have to be with City there, and City do, because we're there. You know what I mean? As you just said, you can't even draw a bleeding game. You know what I mean? What is that all about? It's unheard of.
Right.
Unheard of.
That's right. And I mean, to be still competing for another 3 competitions.
Wow.
It's you just look forward to the next game. That's what it is. And every Liverpool supporter out there will feel the same way. You're just looking forward to that next game. It doesn't right now. It doesn't get any better. But what Klopp's brought to this team, it's just behind the scenes stuff that you see, now with social media, Twitter and all that. the sort of rapport that they've got. I mean,
they're like a family. It's like a family, really. It's like brothers. Like brothers.
The pictures there from the back rooms. I think you posted them tonight. The back room, and the back room staff in the photos, it's just fantastic. You can see it. It's just everywhere, and he's just got that spirit. And what did he say when he come? Rock and roll football. You know, that's exactly what he's doing.
It's been one big party, Dave, and I don't want it to stop.
I don't want it to stop.
Now,
I don't want it to stop.
It will stop one day, unfortunately, because that's the way life is. But we've got to enjoy it while it's here, and that's why I always say to fellas and younger fans, it hasn't always been here. As we said at the start of the show, you have to enjoy it while it's here.
These things aren't guaranteed. That's what I say. You know, when you get to finals and you know, like every Liverpool fan out there, you'll go to the ends of the earth to make sure that you can get there, because these things aren't guaranteed, and you want to be there. You don't know when the next one's going to come. And you know, I mean, 10 years since we won a domestic trophy. I mean, when I read that, obviously I knew, but when you see it in print, you think, God, it is
10 years.
You know, 10 years.
To be fair, though, Klopp, look. Listen, you look back to the Leicester City game. We started the weak side and almost got punished. I mean, we were 2-0 down. You know what I mean? They had actually had one. Your man Vardy had one great shot. I think he hit the post to go 3-0.
Yes.
I mean, and we came back.
Outplayed.
Do you know what I mean?
Outplayed, yeah.
Certain things in football go against you. We made the changes at halftime. We were a totally different team second half. Then came back, Minamino and Jota and everything.
I can remember the same competition where we played a bit of a weakened side against Chelsea at Anfield a few years back, and we were 1-0 up with something like 8 to 9 minutes to go, and what's his name scored an absolute the lad who went to Madrid. What was his name?
The Spanish guy.
The Belgian lad.
Who? Oh, Hazard. Yeah, he went by about 6 players. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, he cut in from the I call it the Kenman Road, the Kenny Dalglish.
It was a great goal. It was.
And he cut in and he hit one, and we lost the game 2-1 in the last sort of 10 minutes. You know, so we've sort of come close with playing like weakened sides and that, and we had a bit of luck, you know, against Leicester, of course we did, but you know, you need a bit of luck. Chelsea themselves, didn't they have 2 penalty wins? Yeah.
They were lucky, yeah. I think they got a last-minute goal as well, didn't they?
Yeah, it levels itself out, and you know, I mean, they beat us. Chelsea beat us in the FA Cup, wasn't it? The FA Cup final. Was it?
Yeah,
it was the FA Cup final.
Yeah, they beat us in the FA Cup. Yeah.
I
remember that game. Carroll almost equalised. Remember?
Yes, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So you know, maybe it was our turn, but you know what? It would have been a bit of a somber atmosphere coming home if we'd have lost that on penalties. I've got to be honest.
I think it would have been a bit of a downer. I know it's people going, you know, it's always good to win Wembley, as you just said there. You're not guaranteed a Wembley final.
No,
any year. Never mind. You haven't won one in 10 years. You just said.
Yeah.
So the thing for me now going forward, obviously we got Norwich on Wednesday night, FA Cup, win that. No, I'm not saying it's a walkover, but I think Norwich's eyes will be on staying in the league, and they've a slight outside chance now of staying in the league.
Yeah.
Because other teams have dropped. You know, they were dead and gone at Christmas, but they have an outside chance now. They might play a slightly weakened side. We can play a slightly weakened side, but it should
I think we will.
Beat Norwich.
I think
should
we
be
will,
good enough to beat Norwich, though. Oh, we will, yeah.
Yeah, I think we will. But you know, even we say weakened side, but those players that he'll bring in should be good enough to beat Norwich. No disrespect to Norwich, but they should be good enough, you know, to compete and get the win. And with a bit of luck, as I say, we're into the quarterfinals, and then you 1 win away from another Wembley trip. Yeah.
Just before we go, Dave, you have something you're hoping, probably maybe this year it'll happen, I don't know. You're hoping to do a little Kirby training. AXA training ground. It's called in Kirby, the new training ground, of course, with Hendo. I don't know, will it be with Hendo, a tour of the ground, possibly?
Well, I mean, I don't know full detail. You know, Liverpool and the sponsor Nivea who arranged it. They said it will happen. and I know it will happen. It's just a question of when, really. I know I'm getting a bit fed up with my son asking me every other week, when's it happening?
Or me asking you.
Yeah, exactly. Which, to be fair, I don't know whether I'm looking forward to it more than he is. But yeah, I mean that will be. I mean, that'll be a once in a lifetime, experience. And yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And whenever that takes place, it'll be absolutely amazing. And if it takes place beginning of next season, hopefully we've got some silverware.
That's what I was just about to say. We could have one or two more cups in the bloody trophy cabinet.
It would be worth the wait. So yeah, I have got that to look forward to. Yeah.
Yeah, and yesterday you were in the stand. You met a few people. You met Jamie Webster and the Anfield Rap Boys after the game. Was it or during the game?
Yeah, I've got to know a couple of the Anfield lads.
Yeah, they're great. They're great lads.
Really, really nice. Really good team. Yes, Neil Atkinson and
Andy Heaton.
Were there, and met Jamie Webster. He's an absolute talent, isn't he?
Yeah.
Never mind him singing at a Taggies on a Saturday. He's football songs. He's an absolute unbelievable singer, isn't he? He's done really well with that album.
It's a proper Red, basically.
Oh yeah.
Proper Red.
His music's he's going to be one of the many good hits that have come out of Liverpool and the music scene.
Like my mate Peter Hooton.
Peter's another top Red. He doesn't live too far from me. I was having a conversation with him in a local hostelry just before Christmas. He's a nice fella and a good Red, and they go everywhere. That's what they do. That's what we do. It's brilliant. It's great. And I've
got to get over. It's been too long. I haven't. The last time I was in Anfield was just before the pandemic, which was in October 2019. It was the Leicester City Milner last minute penalty, if you remember, 2-1. Do you remember Mane scored and then Milner injury time? I was over there for that game.
It was. I'll always remember it because me and my son were there, and my mum was really ill, and I said to him when that penalty went, I said that was for Nanny, and my mum passed 12 hours later.
Wow!
I'll always remember that.
That's the game. That's the game. The last game I was.
Well, my dad was meant to be coming with us, and I was actually in a bar, literally just the back of my house, and my dad was coming over to meet us. He said, my sisters had gone round, and I said, just come, you need a break. You've been sat. Just it'll do you good, an hour and a half. And then he rang me, he said, I can't leave your mum. She's really ill. And then, my son come with me, and when Milner scored that, I said, that's for your nan. And then my mum passed the following day. So, I'll always remember that goal. Certain goals you'll always remember. And like yesterday was like really bittersweet, if I'm honest, because that's the first final that my dad wouldn't have been to. We were at Wembley for the Charity Shield against City, which unfortunately we lost. Me, my dad, and my son. That was August 2019, and then he passed a couple of months later. So I was looking up at the sky there during that penalty shootout, going, "Come on, Dad, come on."
Maybe he blew the ball for Kepka and went over the bar.
Maybe he did, but I reckon
he did.
I reckon there's a long list of Reds who have gone, who are now longer with us that had an input in that as well, if you believe in any of that. But
hopefully.
But hopefully,
do you know what as well? I've another story as well, just before we go. My mother passed away the week Klopp came into Liverpool.
Yeah.
My mum passed away on the 20th of October. Klopp came in, I think it was the 15th or something, wasn't it? Something like that.
Yeah.
So it was within 4 or 5 days of my mum passing away, yeah. So my mind was somewhere else.
Yeah. But it's mad, isn't it? Because I always think of certain situations.
Memories.
And it's always around football.
It's like anniversaries and stuff. Something happens at Christmas, you'll always remember that Christmas. If something happens, on a birthday or something like that, you'll always remember it right to that day and second,
Well, that's what football does for you. Football, you know, you have sad times and you have good, but overall, it's the good times that you think about. And as I said I think on the video with Jordan Henderson, you know, life sometimes hard for a lot of people. I'm certainly no different to anyone. And obviously, what's going on in the world at the moment is scary times. But you know, when you go to the match and you can just, it's like a release. You can sort of switch off for that 90 minutes, and you can sort of take your mind off things, and you just get engrossed in the game. And you know that it works for me, and I'm sure it works for a lot of people. But yeah, I mean, football, without football.
Do you know what, David? Actually, the last 2 years, we know we're in a pandemic. Hopefully, it looks like we're coming out of it now, and we've other problems in the likes of Ukraine, which is getting nasty. So all our prayers are out with Ukraine, obviously. Which was bittersweet, actually beating Chelsea yesterday as well. To be fair, with their oligarch in charge, I thought was an extra thing as well. So but the other thing as well, I think for Liverpool, for me anyway, Liverpool for the last 2 years and doing these shows and interviews, and you were on before and stuff, got me through the pandemic as well. You know what I mean? It was huge.
You know, that what Liverpool done for me at the time in my life. I am very lucky, and I'm not just saying that. I know that I am very, very lucky that what happened that day with the courtesy call and what followed from. I'll never be able to thank them. I'll never be able to thank the sponsor Nivea enough for what they did for me, because you know, it's not just words. It was gave me an absolute lift. You know, it can't be understated really. What they've done for me. Brilliant. You know, I'll never forget. You know,
to be fair, Dave, they've done a lot of good. LFC Foundation as well. They've done a lot of good work behind the scenes that people don't see for charities and stuff like that. I've seen them doing a load of stuff. Liverpool. I know most top clubs do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm just talking about Liverpool. But they do some great stuff.
But they do as well. And you know, you look at Spirit of Shankly and things like that. The things that they do.
The food banks. The food banks. I think Liverpool's ex-CEO, Peter Moore's involved heavily. Him and his wife, I think Debbie's involved heavily in the food banks in Liverpool.
I'll always defend this city. I absolutely love this city. I love the people. There's good, bad everywhere, but this city is absolutely phenomenal. And you know that when you're in trouble, this city rallies round. And, you know, what they do with the food banks and the money that they raise. And, you know, you look at the Spirit of Shankly and all the things for the Hillsborough. And you know the fight that they put forward for that when other people may have just given up,
walked away.
This city, you know, and the people are involved in it, and absolutely superb.
That's why I think, Dave. Now I'm from Dublin, which is very similar to Liverpool, of course. The history, they've a big history, of course. Historical.
Close ties.
Two twin cities, two port cities, sister cities, but. So for me, Liverpool was always, it's just across the water, literally. When you look across from Crosby, you're probably looking over at Dublin, you know what I mean? So the Irish Sea is just there in between us. But I mean, like for me, it's the camaraderie, it's the friendship. I mean, you could walk around Liverpool and it's different. And I know it's a socialist, it's everybody for themselves. There's a big disconnect from London, of course, and the south of England. As most North cities do, like the likes of Newcastle as well, and you know, they have a big disconnect. So there's a lot of stuff going on at Liverpool. That's why I love Liverpool. To be fair, it's not only the football team. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a top.
It's the whole package. You know.
Yeah.
But
I'm proud to be from the city. Definitely.
Absolutely, my friend. Well, I think we'll leave it there. We're 44 minutes in, Dave.
44 minutes, I've flown.
44 minutes in. I absolutely love that. We get you on again, Davey boy, if you're ever available. No problem.
Yeah, no problem. Be a pleasure, Dave. Absolute pleasure. I'll what's on the agenda tonight? I'll probably watch I don't know, West Brom maybe, or I think Atlanta are playing. Be some football I'll probably be putting on now.
But it's been an absolute pleasure. As I say, Davey boy, we will have you on again. Hopefully, the next time I have you on, we have another cup in the cabinet, baby.
Absolutely. We'll make that a date, definitely.
We'll make that a date. Thank you very much, Dave. I shall talk to you soon. Guys, in the comments, thank you very much. Hit the like, hit the share. Join us on the Anfield Express. This train ain't stopping, baby. This train, it is stopping. And it's stopping at the next trophy. That's where it's stopping. And it's a Hendo shuffle incoming. Stay safe, guys. League Cup winners, Liverpool. Davey, cheers.